I'm playing Mr. Bain, who is a retired from intergovernmental data, I believe, and is a former college professor and a former atheist. And a very interesting character and a very caring individual. I thought it was a great script, a great story, in spite of everything that's going on in the end times, the hope for something beyond. And the end times theme of the film, and of course, just imagining the special effects that were going to be in the finished film. I think it's a great story.
So my name's Ariana, and I am portraying the role of Ashley, who is a girl who's a devout Christian, and she knows where she stands in her faith. But then as the movie gets on, she starts to compromise. And I feel like she's a really good character to portray because it's such an easy thing in life. It's so real. It's so easy for people to compromise on their faith. And the important thing is that like we know where we are, who we are, and where we stand with our faith. And as Ashley, I get to portray that, and it's a really real character. Well, it's my first feature film. I've done a short film and some commercials, but this is my first feature film, so that in general is exciting. But I really enjoy how the perspective on it, it's a Christian film, but it has a really good like broad audience. It'll bring in non-Christians and the Christians. And so it doesn't portray Christians as like perfect and stuff. It like shows that there are some mistakes that we make, and that'll like make the non-Christians want to like further the big behind the scene that we're trying to push. And so I think that's really cool. It has a really good way to bring in everyone to agree on the story. Well, I wasn't expecting Dr. Bain to like get arrested, and well, I wasn't expecting the twist where they become the terrorists. That was like a really big whoa. There's a lot of research put into this, and reading through it, there were things like about the Bible that I never knew before, and so we like read the Bible verses that they quoted in there, and I was like really surprised by some of the things that like I've been taught my whole life, but there's more behind it that you have to research in order to learn it all. We're so blessed in America with the freedom of religion, and we can't take it for granted. That's a freedom that everyone has the right to, and we can't take it for granted, and we have to make sure that other people don't take it away from us. Because in America, their freedoms and our liberties are being taken away, and as Christians, we need to know where we stand, and we cannot compromise. And by watching this movie, I think people will really start to see and understand that we have to stand strong no matter what comes at us. And life is short, and we can't make any mistakes that we will really regret later. Well, we will make mistakes, but we need to know that we have to make the most of it and live a life that honors God through it.
My name is Mina, and I'm playing the role of Wan Ling, and I'm one of the supporting leads in The Last Messengers, and I'm really excited to be here, and I think the message is great, and I think a lot about what the film has to do, it's something that a lot of people need to learn more about, so I'm excited. So she is one of the messengers that delivers the word of God about everything that's going to be happening, and her backstory is she pretty much grows up. Both her parents passed, and so she goes through a little bit of troubles, but she finds her way into the group and really learns more about God and everything that is going to happen. I think a lot of people can relate to Wan just because nobody's perfect. We all kind of go through our own struggles, and even in our own Christian lives, you stumble, but she really shows that regardless of what happens, God is still there to accept you, and you can still move forward.
My name, Melville Moses Andrade. I will be the voice of God. And though I did not expect to be so privileged to be a part of it, I see it as another expression of my faith. People are always curious, the buzzwords from time immemorial, the end of the world. What does the future hold? where is God? Why does God allow these things to happen? And being prepared for those who are Christians, believers in a second advent of the Lord Christ, to not be scared so much. Where Christ is, there is peace and beauty, etc., is my belief. But simply to be reflective of one's own life, be prepared, and to, in doing so, also to help others to be prepared for this grand return that we as Christians believe in.
My name is Jay Clayton Porter, and I am playing Mr. Neb. He's a professor, but he's a non-believer, and he's a little bit confrontational with those that are, and kind of thinks that their beliefs are a little off-kilter. The content of the film and its subject matter, as Dan has said, it's the second coming of Christ, and how it's presented in the script that I've read. But it's taking that story and bringing it to the big screen. One, I think it's a great movie. I think it's going to be the final product is going to be very good and very interesting. The story to be told is going to be interesting. And so when I explain to folks that I'm involved in this project, I let them know that, and I tell them how when it's brought to the big screen, that it's not just going to tell a age-old story that we know, a biblical story that we know, but it's going to be presented in a way that's going to be very interesting and captivating. For those that are believers that have a religious basis, it's kind of reaffirm their faith and their beliefs. And for those that don't, I think they're going to walk away asking some questions.
I am Ross. I'm the special assistant to the then current President of the United States, who happens to be female. And it's very moving about the second coming of our Lord. I'm quite touched by the movie. I think it's going to be a blockbuster. I really do. Considering the political climate we're in right now, it's a very uplifting movie. And I think, as a whole, our country needs that. We need some uplifting. And I think this movie will actually do this. It's very touching that there are people who believe that our Lord is going to return. Not only that, is going to return very soon. In the Bible, it says, no man knows the time or day when our Lord will return. But in this movie, it's going to happen very, very soon. I find it very compelling.
My name is Jeff Moore, and the character that I'm playing is Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole is Hope's dad. Hope is one of the main characters in the film, and I think that's one of the fascinating things about this film is that it's something I think we all know that this is a true story, even for non-believers. I think there's an audience out there that believes that this story is true, even though they may not follow Christ or profess to be a believer. And this film is going to put that story just right in their face and hopefully be the catalyst that might just start something, whether it's a thought or a question but just plants that seed, that we hope that will begin to grow in them. The idea of Christ's coming, I think for many people it just seems like, well, that's something that's going to happen in the future, and I don't need to worry about that right now. I don't need to be thinking about that. It's just, for many, whether they're believers or non-believers, frankly, I think it's just kind of off our radar screen, and this film is going to put it right back there. What excites me about it is it's a biblical story that's true to the Bible. And it's appealing in the way that the characters and the storyline is relatable, that I think that people can see themselves as, a particular character in the film or knowing somebody like that. And I think the film is very relatable, and I think that helps for people to be able to make a connection with the film in a way that they might just see it as something that they're watching, that they can actually be brought into the film and feel more of a part.
Yes, it's about the end time. I am a Christian, and I believe that we are in the last days, and I wanted to be a part of that production because as a Christian, we are messengers. We're messengers of God. And within the script, I played Lily Simons, and I'm a contract chaplain by profession as well, and she's out helping those, even though she's wounded herself. So, and it's something that has not been done before, and especially Christians, we're interested in that. So it'd be something different, be something knowledge, and hopefully it will give a message to those who perhaps have not given their lives over to Christ to take a look at or to ponder about.
I liked it. I learned a bit, actually. I felt it brought me a little closer to my beliefs and God and a higher power. I felt it strengthened my faith a little bit, actually. Yeah. My character is Soldier 20. He's a lead soldier that comes. It's towards the end of the script, the film, where we come up right before the coming of God, and I like it. It's a strong character role. Well, it was kind of a little worrisome about the government, that maybe, has a potential of getting to the point of where the script goes with it. It's not that far off. So, a little alarming. But I think that's what I like about the film, that it is current. And I mean, it's not far off from where we're at right now.
My name is Beulah Pratibha. I'm going to be playing a student. I've just told them the opportunity I got, and all of them are thinking I got into Hollywood. So they said it's interesting. Some of the Christian friends told, acting is in a movie is kind of considered not that great, not a good thing to do. But when I told it's a Christian movie for a good purpose, they said, yeah, you should do it. So first, in the beginning, when I got this chance, I thought it's not God's purpose. But now I've got the third chance. So I thought maybe there is God's purpose. And that's when my friends encouraged me. They said, I think you should do it. So, the first thing is that because it's a Christian movie, and it's about the second coming of God. And there's no movie about this topic before. So more than the birth of Christ, the second coming is more important. I feel like it's going to be soon. So I want all the world to know about it. And the concept of it is interesting. It's a lot of people should know. They know about Jesus Christ, about their love and all that. But very less people believe that he's going to come back. So this movie is going to be a message for all of them, and a lot of people will be aware of it. And when it is going to be made into a movie, it might be realistic for them, and they might actually start believing in it. I hope this movie goes on well, and more than anything about it, I want it to become famous, and a lot of people get to know this real truth about Jesus Christ is what I want to say.
It was last year I auditioned for a movie and didn't really hear anything back from them for a while, and then I got a call and it was off to Richmond at that point, and then that's kind of brought on other projects from that time on. And I was in the military for 5 years as a corpsman, and so most of the things that I tend to get are either military related or police related, those type of things. So and I think it's probably a good fit. I think it's going to be a pretty good action film. Lots of action. I think that will really attract people to the movie, and then on top of that, then they'll get the message through the movie.
It excites me the most that it's a big film, and I love that this big film is telling such a meaningful story. Growing up in church and as a Baptist, I was taught all these things, and having a big film show this to people who may not be believers yet or are still a little skeptical is great. I really look forward to people seeing this and learning a little bit more visually rather than just reading. I hope people will learn that the severity of what the end is, the urgency for people to accept Christ.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
What role do you play in this film?
I play Sally.
How do you feel about that character?
I feel like Sally's a pretty relatable person in general. She is like kind of hard to understand in some ways. So Sally really doesn't believe in God, which is pretty, I don't know. It's really different, and it's hard to kind of portray that, but I think I could get it. This is my first time being in a film. It's a little bit different than being on stage because you have to, be perfect, and you can't really mess up. That's the hard part. Yeah.
What did you like about the story of The Last Messengers?
Well, I like that it's a pretty relatable story to, get, and it sends out a good message.
One thing is that I'm not very knowledgeable about this topic, so it gives me an opportunity to learn more. And Dan, the producer, is very passionate about this film, and personally, like as an artist myself, I believe that it's very nice to see someone else pursue their passion as well. And we're all here to help him, and it seems very fun. Everyone's excited. The coming of Christ seems like the major part in the film, and I'm excited to see how that's going to be conveyed. Well, even like myself, I said I'm not very knowledgeable about this subject, so many people still don't know anything about it. So it's good to know your own ignorance, so this can help a lot of people learn more about something they don't know.
I'm Angela Pruitt, and I am Margaret in the film, and I'm also hair and makeup. My character is a lady that's a neighbor. When Dan shared this with me, I really got chills because I really knew that we really are at the time that we need to get this out. I'm hoping that when they see it, that it will open their eyes, because there doesn't seem to be anything that's really affecting people. We're just caught up in today's society where nobody cares about anybody anymore, and it's really sad. It's heartbreaking. It's entertainment, but yet it's true. It's reality, and we are at a crucial time that we need to wake up.